Good morning, everybody. My name's Dave Archbold. I'm one of the managed services specialists here at Visual, and I'm pleased to welcome you on to today's webcast, which is all about Yammer, where teamwork happens. Joining me on today's call, we have Patrick Fagan, who is one of our SharePoint consultants, and I'm sure Patrick will do a big introduction into himself very, very shortly. Just before we get into the main body of today's webcast, there's a little bit of webcast guidance that I'd just like to run through with you very, very quickly. We'd love people to ask questions right the way throughout today's webcast. For the purposes of it, we've got people's phones muted at the moment just to eliminate any background noise, but we will be opening it up at the end for questions. If you've got any questions throughout the body of today's webcast, please feel free to use the instant message function or drop an email through to inquiries@visual.com. We're also going to be recording today's session, so if perhaps any of your colleagues can't join and you think it'd be of interest to them, we'll be sending out links after it's finished to our YouTube page, where you'll be able to find this along with lots of other webcasts that we've done very, very recently. Now, it gives me great pleasure to actually announce that Visual were awarded Microsoft UK Partner of the Year 2015. So after coming and runner-up for the past couple of years, it's an absolutely fantastic achievement for us that we've now been recognised as Microsoft's best UK partner. It goes to show that all the work we're doing around the Microsoft technology stack, both from a consultancy and support point of view, is really paying off, and Microsoft are kind of appreciating the work that we're doing and showing the great work that we're doing with all of our customers as well. So hopefully people have heard of Visual in the past, and that's why you're with us here today on today's webcast. For those of you who are perhaps new to working with us or haven't had many dealings with us in the past, Visual are a completely 100% Microsoft-focused organisation. We're a customer-centric company, so we put the customer at the heart of everything that we do. And our main services that we offer are all around consultancy and then managed services. As an organisation, what we want to do is help customers to achieve the maximum investment in their Microsoft technologies. So we want to help them deploy the latest and greatest technology, and also help them optimize and monitor it once it's been in place. So not only are we putting it in, we're making sure that it's being consumed and that organizations are getting the most out of any investment that we've made. Now, Visual are completely committed to Microsoft. We're seen as a safe pair of hands for them, as the UK Partner of the Year award goes to show. We're a UK partner who covers the vast majority of Microsoft technologies. So if I just skip on to my next slide, the way that Visual have structured the business is into two distinct arms. The first of which is our consultancy business, and this again is split into two different sections. The first of which is our business consultancy, and this is really where we get involved at a strategic level. So we look at strategic consulting, this is where our engagement managers and our architects sit, and these are the team who can really help you get the most out of any investment that you've made in your enterprise agreements or the Microsoft technologies that you've put in place. The engagement managers and the strategic consultant work really, really closely with our technical consulting. So if we're coming in to do a big transformational project for you, and we're perhaps dipping into the different technology areas where Visual specialise, the engagement managers and the architects will help pull all that together. So Visual can really help transform the way that IT is seen within your business and perhaps transform the way that you work. Now, mentioned earlier, Visual actually cover the vast majority of Microsoft technologies, and to enable us to do this and still specialise in each individual area, we've split our technical consulting into 5 distinct practices. The first of which is business productivity, and this is where our SharePoint consultants or our CRM consultants would sit. And all they do on a day-to-day basis, if it's a SharePoint consultant, it's only ever SharePoint that they'll work on. They won't be coming onto one customer site doing SharePoint one day, and then at a different customer the following day doing something like Link or Exchange. They really do specialise in their fields, and we've got some absolutely brilliant consultants here at Visual. The next practice that we've got within technical consulting is unified comms and messaging, and this is where our teams can help transform your communication strategy. So are you looking to implement Skype for Business? Are you looking to go to Exchange or Office 365, so you're using Exchange Online? This is where that team sits. Now, the next practice we've got down on this slide is systems management, This team's changed names quite recently and is now our cloud infrastructure team. So it covers all things relating to Azure, System Center, any kind of hybrid approaches that customers would like to take. And then to back in this, we've got our identity access and perimeter, which looks at the security elements around it. So do you need to be federated? So this is where we'll look at things like Active Directory federation services or Forefront Identity Manager, and really where we'll look at the security parts. The final part of our technical consulting is our new team, which is growing really, really quickly. It's our application development team. This is where our development team are creating bespoke applications for customers based on the Microsoft technology stack. So one of the things we're doing an awful lot at the moment is creating a room booking system for universities, also creating bespoke applications based on CRM Dynamics that enables universities to track a student through their journey at the university if they're going out to perhaps placement, or they've got other bits and pieces that need to be tracked, health and safety, all that type of stuff. The app development team have created some absolutely fantastic applications recently. Now, as an organization, obviously, if we help you implement the Microsoft technologies, that's absolutely fantastic. But we want to make sure that once that they're in place and embedded within the organization, and they're being used successfully. And in order to do this, we've got our services arm of the business. Now, we work with organizations to provide either fully managed solutions, where Visual can be your whole IT team, so we can do first line right the way through to fourth line support. We're able to take it on a workload basis. So if you perhaps limited in skills in SharePoint or Exchange or any of those areas, we can come in and do fully managed services for you around those particular workloads. The support that we offer is on both a proactive and reactive basis. So for us, it's more important that if we can identify any issues before they occur or before they affect the users within an organization, that's much, much better than having to firefight it and fix any problems. So with any of our support, with our premium support packages, we'll proactively monitor the servers that we're supporting for you. We'll create daily health checks and application monitoring. And then we can proactively fix the issues before anything does occur. Now, Ridge will help organisations regardless of where their infrastructure currently sits. So we're quite happy to support you whether it's completely on-premise, if you've gone completely into the cloud, or if, like most organisations, you're adopting a kind of hybrid approach at the moment. Ridge will be more than happy to support you with that. Now, when we're going out talking to organisations, we're big believers in the Microsoft technology and understand that it can do exactly what organisations need it to. To this end, we see IT being at the heart of positive change within organisations. And to go out and talk to customers about transformation, we've got three distinct propositions that we like to go to market with. The first of which is our connected business strategy. Now, for us, this is all about how our customers engage with their customers or citizens or patients, depending on which sector they sit in. And really, it's about making sure that you staff have the right information in the right place at the right time to be able to engage with your customers in a flexible, agile, really to follow the engagement strategy that you guys have set up and put in place. Now, if we've got an engagement strategy, we think it's then really important that we empower the workforce to be able to deliver on this engagement strategy. And to this end, we've got our end user computing proposition. This is all about making sure that the staff have got the right tools to be able to connect with your customers or citizens in the right way. So it looks at making sure that staff have the right tools that they need. So do they need to work remotely? Do we need to look at smartphones or tablets for them? Are they office-based and therefore only need a desktop? It really maps what the users' roles are to the organisation and make sure we give them the tools necessary to be able to follow the strategies and the business objectives that are in place. Now, if we've got the staff engaging with customers in the right way, and we've empowered them to be able to do it, it's equally important that the back-end infrastructure is capable of meeting these set requirements. So to this end, we've got our optimized service vision proposition, and this really looks at how your infrastructure is at the moment. Is it flexible? Are you going towards the cloud? Is it a hybrid approach? What would be best for you as an organization? So each one of these propositions always goes back to what the business objectives are and what the business is trying to achieve. And as I say, we really see IT being at the heart of positive change within organisations. I know particularly within the public sector at the moment, there's a real drive to get more for less. And we believe by putting IT at the heart of this change, Visual can make some real transformational differences to organisations. What I'd like to do now is just hand over to Patrick, who will do the main body of today's presentation.
Cool, thanks David. Good morning everyone. I just thought I'd start giving a brief agenda for today. So we'll do some introductions. I'll step straight into discussing Yammer, what it's all about, and we'll go over some of the high level features and what they do. I'll cover some of the use cases for Yammer as well. So just highlighting a few things that might spark a few ideas. Go and think about social in your organisation, and then I'll do a demonstration. We've prepared a flying quotes real world scenario, and I'll show you. I'll step through and show you how we can achieve that with Yammer. Then I'll talk about how Visual can help, how we're going to get this launched, how we approach Yammer, and then we'll open the floor. As David said earlier, we'll take everybody off mute as well. We'll answer any questions that are put in the IM window throughout, and obviously any live questions as well. So first of all then, introductions. I'm Patrick Fagan. Patch is my nickname. I'm a SharePoint consultant. Oh, sorry, I've just been told I'm not taking over as presenter. 2 seconds. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so yeah, Patrick from Visual. I'm a SharePoint consultant. I've been here for about 2.5 years now. Now I'm the proud employee of a Microsoft UK Partner of the Year company as well. So the business productivity team, we look after all things SharePoint and SharePoint Online, Office 365, Yammer, business intelligence, and CRM. And I've got roughly 11 years working in the IT industry. I'm an MCSE in SharePoint and an MCSA in Office 365 as well. So, so what is Yammer then? Yammer is a private social enterprise platform that Microsoft bought a couple of years ago now. It is cloud-based. There's no on-premise version of this. And it's one of the myths for SharePoint news feeds and Yammer, a conversation that does pop up quite a few times. Yammer isn't the same as SharePoint news feeds. It's similar in the presentation, and there are some comparable services, but it's not the same. In fact, my practice manager Alex Egger did a webcast a little while ago about collaborative working, and before that there was a good SharePoint versus Yammer discussion as well. So if there's ever a conversation there, that might be worth looking into as well. So it enables self-organization. What we mean by that is by having good profiles, good information in there, we're training our users how to use it correctly and linking it in with other systems as well with the integration. We're kind of enabling users to organize themselves, get in touch with people directly rather than having to go through the traditional methods of, maybe emailing a huge distribution list or the incorrect people. They can go and find this information for themselves. It allows for quick alignment to change where we're making company announcements or we're changing ways that processes happen. It can generally be done very much quicker going through Yammer. There's a very rich and mature API as well. If anyone's familiar with this, you can integrate it with almost anything. It's all based on standard sort of REST CSOM behavior, so you can integrate it with mobile phones, with websites, things like CRM, SharePoint, or even any other line of business system as well. So to cover some of the key features of Yammer then, The first one, of course, is the actual Yammer network itself. This is the name that's actually usually based on the organization's email domain. So for Risual, our network is called risual.com because obviously our email addresses are all at risual.com. Some organizations, of course, may have multiple email domains. That might be through organization history. They may be acquired another company. There's been some kind of merger. In that case, multiple networks might be required, and we have several processes. So we've got the domain add, domain merge, or even the domain unmerge features there. The domain add procedure is to associate Yammer networks. So if we had risual.com and risual2.com, we would use the domain add. There's no loss of data for users who are being migrated into the parent domain. Things like network communications or conversations, they're all kept intact. If you're planning to merge your network, so maybe you bought another company, you want everybody under one banner, the network merge procedure would be initiated, and that basically means that the users that are in the merge domain, they actually do lose any pre-created content, and they're redirected to the parent network. So in that case, we would look at things like doing data exports, managing people's expectations, good communications sent out, and things like that. And then maybe if you are retiring a network, or if you're splitting a company into two sections, there's various use cases for these. We've got the network demerge, which is essentially splitting out users from a pre-merged environment. When that happens, Yammer actually creates a log of who was in that network before the merge and who should be part of the demerge decoupling process. So it's quite easy to do. There is a form online as well that we fill in. We don't actually do this ourselves. It's a process that we have to go through with Microsoft to do that. So groups, these are the sort of logical entities that you use to organize users, and that might be you might group things by teams or departments, by job functions, or by geographic locations. You can have a mix of that as well. There's no hard and fast rule to it. The idea of groups is really to keep things in context. So if you have a team-based group, then all of the team would all the members of that team will be joined to the group, and then they can discuss things that are related to them, maybe not to other people within the organization. There are two levels of groups that you can configure. We've got the private group and the public group. So the public group is pretty much just that. It's open to anybody who has access to the network. That doesn't mean public in the sense that anyone from the internet can access it. It's just you have to send it to the organization's Yammer network first, but it's public to that network. And a private group is a group that is accessible to users who've been added as members within the network, but just general users wouldn't be able to access it. Of course, the admins can gain visibility of it, but depending on their level of administration, they're not necessarily be able to see the content in there. There's a few options in private groups as well to specify whether you want them to display in the group directory, because maybe you want the private group to be visible, that it's there, but you just want the membership and the content to be locked down. Of course, you can set the administration approval on that as well. So next key feature is around posts, and this is basically where the main body of things happen in Yammer. This is like new posts, shares, replies, likes, praises, and polls. Some additional things that you can do around that as well is that if, for example, if you're sharing a post, you can post that across other groups. You can post it as a private message. You can carbon copy certain people in if if maybe something's specific to them. You think, hey, that'd be some good awareness for them. You can copy them into that post as well. Things like topics using hashtags. That's a great. I'll demo some of that a little bit later, but that's a really great way to keep track of things. The next key feature is around the feeds. So that's basically where all the information is aggregated for dashboard viewing and things like that. As an example, the home feed is where all the messages will get posted within the network that the user has visibility of. There'll be things like usage policies that have been defined for the organization. They'll be accessible from that home feed. We have the top, all, and following. The top is an algorithmic based process that puts things in order of what Yammer thinks you'll be interested in based on your activity. There's some roadmap stuff for this as well, with the integration with Delve, which was announced last year at the SharePoint conference in Vegas as Project Oslo. That's now been released properly as Delve, so that's quite an exciting thing as well. The top is kind of what we call the top of the funnel. So this is going to be all of the posts that have got lots of activity on them. So the post might not necessarily be the latest post, but if lots of people are talking about it or commenting on it, then that goes at the top of the funnel. Whereas the sort of opposite of that is the following feed, which is based around this is sort of the bottom of the funnel. This is things that you've specifically said, I want to follow this, I'm subscribed to the conversation, or I've replied to it, I'm following this topic, and that kind of thing. The inbox is where all your public and private messages go to, any company announcements or updates to your subscribed groups and conversations. If somebody tags you in a post as well, using the notify feature, you'll also get a message in your inbox there as well. The profile, I will touch on this a little bit in the demo actually, because the profile is really a key place where this kind of a concept of self-organization comes into play. That through the profiles, if you've got like your email address, a little bit of bio, some of your skills and things like that, when people are searching something, if they're thinking, I need somebody to help me with this Skype for Business piece of work, they can just type in, Skype for Business, and that will return search results even within the profile. So maybe that will initiate an IM conversation saying, you've got a bit of free time to chat about this, or that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit more detail. And of course there's loads more. The actual network features that come with Yammer, there are some variances depending on whether you've got the free or the enterprise version. But things like all the file and image attachments, so we can upload documents and images into Yammer, video files as well. There's the third-party applications, so we can build on the Yammer API. We can generate API keys, so we can integrate with systems such as SharePoint or Salesforce, CRM. Again, these can all be enabled and disabled. We've got external sharing. Maybe your company has an external network configured with a customer, and you want to be able to share conversations and things with that customer, so you can do extranet level collaboration. That's a good feature. We've got the we've got the organizational chart, which is, if anyone's seen it in SharePoint, it's relatively similar. So Yammer works out where you sit within the organization, and if you're browsing for somebody's manager, you can just quickly jump to their profile and navigate it that way. The leaderboards, which are generates like notable activity and popularity, so it'll be inclusive of things like users who contribute to the most posts, which messages are liked, that kind of thing. The Atom feeds is like for the Atom syndication format, which is all kind of XML based stuff, but when you've got that turned on, your applications can actually consume Atom feeds from within Yammer, which is quite cool, because the RSS and the Atom format is generally a bit easier to integrate than having to go through the API. So if you just want something really quick and simple, that's how we would do it. And then we've also got message translation services, which are for multilingual organizations. So it allows Yammer to connect to the Microsoft Translator services. Again, jumping back to SharePoint, if you're using machine translation services already, this is very similar, only you don't have to do any configuration. It's pretty much just a tick box to say yes or no. There's you can obviously you've got the default language, which is the language that's picked up from the person who actually registers for the Yammer network. But you can go, there's a maximum of 33 available languages at the moment. So yeah, if you have multilingual requirements, we can tick that box as well. So that's really a very high-level overview of the Yammer key features. What I wanted to just do before I move on really is just to show you how Yammer fits into the propositions that David was discussing earlier. So of the propositions that we have, the connected business, end user compute, and the optimized service vision, Yammer really sits into the engage, empower, enhance process. So during the engagement stage is where we would do like evaluation and planning with you. So we're looking at all the kind of design decisions that need to go into that to make sure that you've got the right strategy for launching a social platform in your organization. And empowering is by obviously doing the build, test and deploy. The build and test is going to be around actually getting something tangible into your environment, but deploying it is all around like user adoption and training staff, things like that. And then of course enhancing it. Yammer is part of the Microsoft 90-day iteration cycles. So you know, constantly looking at what features are coming out, making sure that you've implemented them to your environment, you've told people what they are, how they work. That's really key to making sure the users are constantly keeping up to date with this. Just to quickly touch back on that 90-day cycle. So Microsoft have already committed to the on-premise, another on-premise release of SharePoint Server, and they will maintain the existing social capabilities. But because they don't plan to add any new ones, a lot of the recommendation now is to consider looking at Yammer as a replacement for that social capability. If you've already got an Office 365 subscription, then it's worth looking at the price plans, because Yammer might be something that maybe you've included already and you're just not leveraging it. If you're not, then I urge you to get in touch as quick as possible, because you want to get the maximum out of that subscription plan. If it's something that you're looking at doing, then we're happy to come in and just have a chat with you about that. Because this is under the Microsoft cloud stack, the Microsoft release updates every 90 days on these platforms, so Yammer, Office 365, SharePoint Online, and being aware of those, looking at the roadmap for those Yammer features, it's really important to make sure that you're aware of those features coming out, because you want to really make use of them as quick as possible. But like I say, if you want to look at some of the comparisons between SharePoint and Yammer, good idea to jump on YouTube and just have a look at the original videos, because as I say, Alex did a good webcast of SharePoint versus Yammer a little while ago. So some of the use cases around social then, the first one, sorry I couldn't click, is around discovering members of the organisation. So that might be a very simple requirement, that you want your employees to be able to find people faster, or to be able to learn about their skills and aspirations. Maybe they're looking for help, that kind of thing. We can use it for reaching out to the experts. So, if, you know, of course, obviously I'm plastered up as a SharePoint expert. If anybody has any questions about SharePoint, they're going to come to one of the members of our team, without a doubt. In fact, just this morning, actually, someone was asking me about external networks. They were trying to find out how to browse some stuff. So that was quite interesting. The ability to share news. A lot of organisations suffer from having swamped email systems, and emails can sometimes get deleted without people really paying much attention to them. When you're doing it through something like Yammer, because you can apply those topics and you can notify specific people, you can really target the news. And if people are interested in it, or people want to find it, they can of course find it a little bit easier, but maybe they don't have to wade through lots of other posts and information to get there. Obviously, discussions around change. If you're looking at changing business process, business policies, it's a great platform to do that on. It's all contextual. You can be less formal. All those other good things. Gathering opinions and ideas. If you've got a new project on the go and you're maybe not quite sure how to do something, or if you've got an idea for a new idea for things to sell with your organisation, it's a good place to discuss it as well. The praise feature is good for giving people recognition. This is quite nicely done when it's integrated with things like the leaderboards, because maybe as part of your adoption process, you want to say, well, actually, we want to praise people who are kind of really taking this on board and using it how we want them to use it. You might want to praise people for like their first 10 posts, or create a leaderboard of people who've got the most activity, things like that. You can build very quick dashboards of looking at what's happening around the organization, using the top following and all feeds as well. You can gain some insights to things that maybe you're not concentrating on a daily basis, but things that you might need to be aware of longer term. And of course, sharing the best practices and solutions for your team is around. It's all going around this idea of connected experiences, and this communicate in real time and on the go. So using the desktop notifier app for laptops and desktops, using the mobile apps, using custom apps. It's all done on nice and quickly. But this sort of idea of a connected experience vision is really, it extends way beyond just social. So the 90-day incremental enhancements that Microsoft do to the Office 365 and Yammer products is all around improving features, and that goes to things like collaboration, social, email, instant messaging, voice, video, and any other line of business application. So it's really great thing to tie into all of that. Right, so I wanted to jump into a demo, which we can look at some of the examples of things like conversations and sharing. And some of the areas that I really want to cover is around group conversations and content sharing, some personal subscriptions, and integration. And we've set up a fake business scenario, which if I just flick over to my desktop for a moment. Okay, hopefully you can all see my desktop now. So I've actually got the Yammer desktop notifier running down here. So if I just quickly jump to my Yammer, there we go, my Yammer homepage. So what we've got here, it's just jumping back to what I was saying earlier about the feeds here. So we've got the top feeds here, which is just a general kind of unorganized view of everything that's going on within the company. Sorry, apologise, that's the all view. This one here. We've got the following view here, which is only showing me what I've subscribed to. So that might be group feeds, it might be people, topics, and you can see it's defaulted to following, but that's because it remembers the last feed that you clicked. So if I click top and then reopen the page, it will jump back to that. And then of course the top there is that algorithmic view, and that's really quite a cool view. If I go on to that, it will show us things that are most active. So you can see here, Kevin's got a post from 2 hours ago, which is obviously the latest activity, whereas there's one here from the 4th of June, which is an older post, but we've obviously got some, so we've had replies here from 51 minutes ago, so that's generating quite a bit of noise. So just a general overview, if you haven't seen this before, this might be interesting. If you have seen it before, bear with me. Just a quick overview of the Yammer homepage then. Across the top here, we've got our masthead and our company logo. These are all things that you can configure. We've got a search bar, obviously people groups and conversations. The search functionality does extend a little bit beyond that though, and I'll show an example of that actually in a bit, of how we can integrate that with other systems as well. We've got the groups down here, so these are the groups that I'm subscribed to. This is based on, you can see it's not in alphabetical order, this is actually based on your personal activity with this group. So we can see here that my least activity is with this project management office group, and my most recent activities with the demo group. Of course, that's because I've recently created it for this webcast. And then, of course, my team group, the RCS Business Productivity Group, is I'm most active on. We've got the group browser here. So this will give us suggested groups based on, again, this is all based on things that we do. If we click on View More Groups, this actually takes us to all the groups within the organisation. Private groups, I'm not sure if we've got any listed here. Yeah, so some of if there's the private group may have been set for to be listed in the directory, which means I would see it here, and if I clicked join, it would request access, but I wouldn't have immediate access to it. Whereas a private group that has been set to no visibility obviously wouldn't appear in there. We've also got access to networks. We've got obviously the Visual.com home network. We've also got two different other types of networks. There's the external network, which is networks that have been created within the Visual.com network. You see there we've got a Paul Smith one. That's one that we have created so we can collaborate with that customer. But also there are other organisations networks. So for example, the Office 365 network, if I just quickly jump to that, you can see here this IT prone work is that network, or sorry, that organisation's network name. Whereas if I go back to the visual one, you can see it's set up as visual.com. That's our network name there. The little numbers we've got beside here, so we've got 31 there, 1 and a 1. They're just to say that we've got new activity in that group that we haven't maybe viewed yet. I haven't had a notification about it because I'm not actually subscribed to that particular conversation. If I click to follow in, I can probably guess what Idea Factory one's been posted. So yeah, here's the Idea Factory post. Daniel Oxborough posted it 54 minutes ago. If I'm to actually click into that, because I'm not subscribed to this conversation, I didn't get a notification about it, but you can see that it's right at the top. And then, of course, on the networks, it gives you a summary of new posts within those as well. If you're an admin, of course, you've got access to some of the admin tools here. You also have in this little ellipsis box in the top right. If I expand it first, there we are. So we can see there's a few options in there as well. I've got network admin, so I can see some more advanced settings in here. Whereas a standard user would see things like groups, people, files, apps, settings, but they wouldn't see network admin. If you click on your name here, this is your personal profile for Yammer. This is where I set up all my, things like my bio, my contact details. Of course, if you've got this synchronized with your Office 365 tenant, if your identities are in there, then you don't have to worry. This can automatically provision all this data for you. But there are some things that are specific to Yammer. One of the is the vCard. Download here. You can, if you want to put your vCard on your email signature or something like that, you can just quickly attach it there. It's pretty cool. Right. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, I missed one thing off there. Is around the actual feeds around the posts. So you'll see that there's some tabs here for different types of posts. So an update is just a standard text update that you would see in any social platform. You can specify people in here to notify, and also you can attach files and images here. The poll would be, if you want to say, I don't know how many people like egg sandwiches or whatever, something like that, I don't know. Praising is around this leaderboard idea. In fact, I praised our directors the other day, actually, when we had the announcement for winning Partner of the Year. Where is it? There we are. So I praised Alan Rogers, Richard Proud, Kate Lincoln and John Pittaway, who are our company directors, for leading the company to become winner of the 2015 Company Partner of the Year. Okay, so I'll just jump into the demo group now, and we can see here that Alex Egger, who's the practice manager for business productivity, has asked if someone can spare some time and help create a new company policy for profile photos. And he's also added in here quite nicely two topics as well, so I can, if I can subscribe to these topics to keep appraised of any updates and things. So what I want to do first of all is I want to start drafting something up. Within Visual, we don't use Yammer as a content management system. We use SharePoint Online, but for the draft, I just want to just create a quick note, because this is just a bit quicker and easier for things that I don't necessarily want to keep, but I want to work with somebody on. So if I create a new note in here, we'll call this profile photo policy, and I've got some pre-prepared text to save me having to type this all out. And let's just format this up a little bit nicer. Maybe put some bullet points in there. Take that last one out. Cool. So that's just a quick draft for the profile photo. Now what I want to do is I want somebody to proofread this. I'm not the best. I do like F7 in Microsoft Word. So if I put in here, oops. I'm working on the photo policy. Is anyone free to proofread it? So I've posted that, and what that's done is this is now keeping it with it context within this note. So this idea of having contextual collaboration within Yammer is great, because I've literally just created that draft, posted that back onto the demo group, asking for somebody who might be available to come and help me co-edit this. So I've just had a desktop notification here actually. So Jeff is able to help. Brilliant. So yep, here he is. I can help him make a start now. So if I jump back to that note real quick, oops. So actually go to the note. So what I should see in here is, yeah, so I can see Jeff has now joined this note and he's editing this. So the edits that he makes will be highlighted in the colour that's underneath his name there. So he'll be in this kind of darker green. And we can see whilst I'm just sat here, Jeff's already started to do some changes. That green's probably not that noticeable actually. I don't know if hopefully you can see this over the broadcast. He's made that edit there. You are, and he's noticed that I've put in link and not Skype for Business. So it looks like just picking up on some of my typos already, which is good. And when he's finished that, and we're happy that this. We're happy with that. See, Jeff's now published that note, so it's cleared the editing text, because that's said that he's happy with it. And what this does is this actually saves things back in real time. So every time you're making a keystroke, it's essentially caching in and saving that change. Like I say, this isn't a content management system though. There's no version history. There's no real rollback features unless you're doing data exports very frequently, which is not very common. It's good place to do drafts, like I say, but not a good place to do proper content management. So I just had another notification there, and you can see I've had this alert up here saying Jeff's now published the note. I don't know if you heard my phone buzz in the background, but I've actually received an email notification around that as well. So that's cool. Jeff's helped me co-edit that document. It's been proofread, and by the looks of it, we think that this is pretty good to go now. So within that note, I'm now going to mark this as official. and lock the changes to that. And that'll basically mean that anybody who doesn't have, if anyone's just got like view rights to this area, they won't be able to edit this note, whereas before it was just kind of free for all. Anyone who had access to that group could come in and edit it. That's now official, so that's locked changes on the note. Oh, we've got a new message here. So you see I got the little notification there, little Jeff's face popped out on the left here. It's like, you know, it's great for keeping real-time feeds on the go. Oh, okay, so Jeff's created a new page for us within SharePoint Online, and he wants this group embedded to the page. So let's just quickly load this page up and have a look. So cool, we've got a demonstration group page with some site statuses, and he wants the demo group embedded into that. So I'll quickly show you very, very quick and easy integration for this. There's actually, Yammer gives us a lot of the tools that we need to do this kind of thing. And on this embed link on the bottom right there, it actually gives us all of the hypertext markup that we need to do this. And you can see in there there's a few things that you could quite easily change as well. You've got the feed ID, so that 5911677 is directly linked to the group itself. So you've got the feed ID here. We can take that out. So if you wanted to just keep that text line around and for quick connecting up, you can just grab the ID off any group like that. If you wanted to integrate a specific feed, if you go to view the conversation, you've got the thread ID of the conversation up here, and what you would do with that is simply change the, let me just go the embed text back up, you would change the feed type from group and update it that way. So if I just quickly copy that out, let's edit the SharePoint page. Cool, we've got a spare column here, so I'll take a bit of a wild assumption that that's where we're going to put it. Pop a web part in, script editor, web part. And what this script editor web part does is it just allows us to put some inline text and scripting on the page. So you can use JavaScript, you can just use bog standard HTML, whatever you need. We'll just call that something useful. Right. So we know what it is, and then all I do simply there is paste in the embed code that it gave us on Yammer. And then if I save that page, we should start to see the feeds coming in there. There we are. So we've now very quickly integrated Yammer to SharePoint Online, and you can see that it's given us real sweet ability just to post straight back to the group here as well. And I'll just post back to Jeff saying that that's done. So if I now jump back to the demo feed, you can see that it's already updated here to say that that's done. And what that should hopefully show you is that not only can you surface data from Yammer here, so this is an RSS, an Atom feed here for the Yammer service status. Not only can you do posting through the integration through the API, there's so much more you can do. Pretty much everything you can do within the user interface, you can do via the API. Just giving us a thank you there, so I like that because he's called me a star. So yeah, that's really around how quick that integration piece is. Just bear me 1 second. So one of the other things that I very quickly wanted to show you as well is around the share functionality. We've got this intranet feedback and support, and one of our consultants made a good post the other day around some of the documents were showing, when users were commenting on them, that they were coming back and just saying author instead of showing their actual name. Turns out that it was actually a setting of the privacy options, but it looks like a couple of the templates that have been uploaded have actually got that setting configured by default. So what I want to do is I want to actually share that with my team, because that sits within SharePoint, and that's something we should probably do. And what I want to do is just raise some awareness and get people in our group to get that resolved across the board, rather than it just being a one-time fix. So if I now jump to our productivity group, now all the members, you see here we've got 29 members of our group. You can they'll all be able to see this, so someone can come in there and sort that out for us. So hopefully that's given you some idea around some of those areas that I wanted to cover there. If I'll just quickly jump back to the presentation. So going on from there, then how visual can actually help your organisation get this into your business is, we of course can do follow-up pre-sales meetings. We can do on-site demonstrations. We can demonstrate what we've just seen today, or anything that you wanted to see within Yammer. We can look around the use cases that are relevant to you and your organisation and define how that will apply as well. So that'll, we'll obviously put together design and planning agendas and some proposal with a rough order of magnitude, which will include things like the activities and rough estimate of effort and cost as well. The actual engagement will obviously be very tailored to your organisation. Everyone works a little bit different where social's involved. But really, we want to look at all the requirements capturing. We want to make sure that you know exactly what infrastructure requirements you need, firewall ports, any proxy exceptions. How will you configure your directory sync? Are you using Office 365 or using the Yammer directory sync if you are a purely on-premise customer? Configuring things like network prompts and branding, your email settings, data export and data retention policies, how you're configuring your groups, things like that. One of the key things that we will do during this engagement is look at the use cases. Now, the use cases are going to be built around defining some key members of your business, and we'll take into account their role, what their business outcomes are, so what they need to be able to achieve in their job, and we'll map that directly to a Yammer feature. And those use cases are like stories that we can say, well, hi, I'm Patrick. My business outcome is I need to be able to collaborate quickly using Yammer. And we've just seen there quite how quickly that can happen. So the Yammer feature that will map to that are things like notes, and then we'll define the strategy around how people should use notes. We'll do things like we'll also do a launch strategy, which will include pre-launch readiness, so things like provisioning your Yammer network, configuring your data and your system integrity, your branding, and doing all your necessary groups. We'll do trainer sessions, so part of the requirements capturing will be nominating your Yammer champions and your high priority teams. So the Yammer champions are people that we will train separately in sessions, who will be the go-to people to support your business, and the high priority teams are the people that will be identified to build the use cases for. We'll look at communications, so we'll help you build an executive introduction to get the launch ready for Yammer, and we'll do tailored use cases for specific teams for those high priority teams. And also we'll help you do some events. There's a phrase coined, the Yam Jam, which is just kind of like a very informal session for going through everything Yammer. We can help you do photo sessions. So if you don't have profile photos already, we'll set up we'll set up cameras, and we'll help people come in and just put names to faces. And we'll do things like lunch and learn as well, where you have these drop-in sessions, and we'll sit with your Yammer champions, and we'll help interact with people doing one-on-one and one-to-many tips and assistance, that kind of thing. And then, of course, the design and planning and the proof of concept phase. So once we've been through all of that, we'll actually give you a high-level design, which will contain all the design decisions, and we'll also build a proof of concept with you, which will be an actual tangible instance of Yammer that you can actually work on real time. One of the last things, sorry, that I've forgot to show there was the reverse integration for Yammer. So putting things back into Yammer. I'll just quickly jump back to my desktop again. Okay. I'll just go to my OneDrive for Business folder. So what I can do, for example, from something like SharePoint Online, so I just create a blank Word document, and because that note that Jeff helped me co-author was marked as official, I know that it's good to go now. If I copy the text out of this is just a very quick and dirty way of doing this. Paste it in there, and then that's automatically saved for me. So I'll just jump back to my OneDrive folder. There's my document. I'm just going to rename it something useful. Profile photo policy. And then from the ellipsis menu here, you see I've got this post button. I'll just click post, and it loads up a nice contextual window here, which has got the document. Check out the new policy. I don't want to post it to a company just because people might think it's actually official. And then I will post that. My message has been posted. So if I now go back to Yammer, back to the demo group, you can see that we've got the document here directly linked to my OneDrive for Business, which of course, if it was a normal SharePoint library, we've got all our content management restrictions that may sit on there. Might have checkout policies, version histories, and that kind of thing. And what's really cool is now we've got this contextual ability to have a conversation in this window about that document. And one of the cool features that's coming very, very soon, they've actually started rolling it out to a few SharePoint Online tenants at the moment, is now that's linked to Yammer. If I was to open that document in OneDrive for Business, the comments feed, so for if I load up the comments bar here, this is the existing one. These comments are actually now tracked within Yammer, not within SharePoint Online. So again, really making that way more contextual and nice. So I think that's probably me done. Thank you very much for listening. I hope I've opened your eyes a little bit to some of the good stuff with Yammer. I'll pass back to David. I think he's got a few things just to talk to us around the managed services side of things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick. I hope everyone found that interesting and really useful, as I did today. Obviously, Patrick's run through a lot of things here around helping you to implement Yammer. One of the things we often find from customers is that whilst they'd love to be able to put in all the latest and greatest technology, it's sometimes a little bit difficult logistically because you've got to keep the lights on as normal. And again, this is where Visuals Managed and Support Services can really help and can drive transformation as well. So if you're logistically, it's difficult to get people away from keeping the lights on, fixing things that are broken. Visual have got workload support that can help with that, both premium and standard. So our standard support is break fix during normal working hours. Our premium support is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It includes proactive monitoring of all of the servers that we support. So this is where we think we can drive real benefits into organisations because we're stopping any problems happening before they actually affect the end business users. One of the big things for Visual moving forward is obviously all around cloud services, Office 365 and Azure. And to this end, we've got managed 365 support solutions as well. So whether you just need help kind of troubleshooting, trying to identify where the issues are, be it with single sign-on or or helping to set up new mailboxes or other bits and pieces. We've got Office 365 Service Manager. As Patrick mentioned earlier on, the cloud technologies tend to change on a regular basis, so there'll be constant updates available to them. There may be it may affect the way that you currently work and give you kind of new, more innovative ways of managing it and working. So to this end, we offer something called an Office 365 Maximizer, and this is where you get to spend a day with the likes of Patrick running through all the new features that are available in Office 365. Finding out how it may affect your business, how it can change the ways that you're working. And really, you've made an investment in this Microsoft technology. So for us, it's important that you're kept up to date with what's going on and how it's changing, and also the benefits that can be to your business. Again, if Visual can be of any help at all supporting your Microsoft infrastructure, we're more than happy to do that on a managed service basis, be it per application or, as I say, full outsourcing. And again, happy to assist, whether it's on-prem, it's hosted in the cloud, or like most organizations, you've adopted a hybrid approach. What I'd like to do is, if I can ask Chrissy to take everybody off mute, if anybody's got any questions for either myself or Patrick, please shout out now. The IM box is still open as well, so if nobody wants to talk, please drop us an IM on there, and either Patrick or myself will respond to those questions. We'll leave it there for now, and hopefully someone's got a couple of questions for us. Okay, it doesn't look like we've got any questions coming through just at the moment. If anybody's watching this webcast on YouTube and would like to contact Visual and do have any questions, please drop an email through to inquiries@visual.com, and that will be picked up by the relevant people. And as Patrick said, we'd love to take this further with you, discuss the next steps, and see if we can help you implement Yammer. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on today's call.